So hi, one of the Good Noise podcaster with the Dead Deads. We're gonna ask some questions today. I'm gonna start. So what inspired the creation of the band, and what does the band name mean?
The creation of the band was very organic, happened on accident really. We were just hanging out and we're like, let's get together and jam, and that turned into something bigger. And then it got bigger and bigger really fast. So it didn't we that was kind of the band started on a whim really. We wanted to do some music for a benefit for uh domestic violence, victims of domestic violence. So we put together just some music for that and we didn't break up.
Okay.
So,
Good to know you guys didn't break up.
Since,
yeah.
since you guys were like hanging out and like let's start a band, were you guys friends before this?
Yeah, so the
Okay.
bassist and I have known each other since I guess since we were like 17.
Oh.
So
okay.
so we've been lifelong friends, and we had just met some of the other girls, and we were just kind of having like a girls jam that just became more.
Oh,
So
very cool.
and then what was the other part of that question?
The band name meaning.
Oh yeah, we started as a Dead Milkmaids tribute band that night. So it was our Dead Milkmen is a band, and we dressed up in milkmaids outfits, and we're gonna be like zombie milkmaids and be the Dead Milkmaids.
Uh-huh.
But then we forgot our zombie makeup, so we just drew X's on our faces to be like dead.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And then we liked how it looked so much. We were like, if we're gonna be a band for real, like we should keep the X's. That's it. It just felt good to us to wear them, and so we kind of built the band name around that. And calling it the Dead Deads was really just a kind of a joke about just how many bands there were that had the name Dead in the title. So we were just going full bore, like all the way with it.
Yeah.
So yeah. I also liked that it was grammatically incorrect. I thought that was kind of fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was good.
And then, well, we all have our dead names. So, my dead name's Meta Dead. So we all are, technically, our last name is Dead. So we're the Dead Deads.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. That's really cool.
I just love how everything about the creation of the band and like the way you present yourself on stage was all just on a whim. Like everything was just made up as you went.
Yeah.
Or an accident. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think all creativity has to have some little bit of accident in it, or it's not authentic. So you want to have some bit of something natural happening, I guess, in anything you do creative, whether it be a podcast or writing a song or a book or whatever.
Mhm.
Definitely. I agree. So congratulations on your newest release, Hey Girlfriend. How you
Thanks.
feeling about the response to it so far? Of course.
Oh man, it's been so great. Like we got this wonderful vocalist Julia from the Foxies to sing on it, and so it was really, she's been getting some love from Spotify and getting on some playlists and things, so it was really cool to, like, we were both on a couple of different playlists together, so it was fun to join forces. And then Spotify was really cool about the song and put it on a few playlists again because they're supporting both our bands. So the reception's been great. And when we did our live concert, a lot of the fans that were at the concert were saying that was their favorite song. So I'm sure we'll be playing that a lot when real shows come back. But yeah, it's been good.
Okay.
Definitely. That's awesome that you're already getting like that big of a response where people are like, oh, that's my favorite one so far. That's always, yeah, that's awesome. Really happy
Well,
to hear
there's
that.
not a lot of hard rock songs about girl friendships. So
Yeah.
like,
You got a point.
we're like, we should have a song about girl friendship and like supporting girls in this style because there's just not a lot of representation. So we like to fill those gaps when we notice them. Like, this is missing women. Let's put women there. So that's what we did, and everyone is cool with it. So that's good.
As they should be. Yep.
I'm glad you brought up the collab because I wanted to ask how that came about, that feature.
Just I wrote the lyrics and kind of the overall vibe. That was one song that we didn't write in the room all together. I just kind of really wanted to do a song with another girl, and I wrote the lyrics of it specifically for Julia. So it was written just for that collab, for her, purposefully really grungy and like just straightforward. Like I just wanted it to be like, like
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
question of what kind of genre it is. It's a grunge rock song with a couple girls thinking about being friends.
All right. And
That's
then
awesome.
you also brought up live stream concerts. How do you guys like engage the fans in that? Because I know there's that disconnect.
It's weird. We've only done the one, and it was huge. We did it in Vegas, like full production. No flames or anything, but it was pretty
Aw.
like cool production.
Yeah.
And we engaged the fans by kind of including the deadcore in the show. So we did our deadcore honors, which is where we just kind of shout out deadcore members that are either doing a lot socially, or just whether it's charitable things they're doing, or just being a great friend to other people in the deadcore, just whatever, if they've been to 50 or more shows, we just kind of give honors out. So we did that to kind of bring them in. And also you've got the chat room, so you can talk to everybody beforehand. It's like, it's not a meet and greet, it's not a hug, but it's close. And then after the show, we did like 3-minute just kind of Zooms, with
Oh,
people.
yeah, that's
We
awesome.
had like just basically a Zoom meeting that people would cycle in and out and say hi after the show. So that was kind of fun.
Okay,
But yeah, it's hard. I mean, that's the long answer. The short answer is it's hard. It's hard to stay connected with everybody.
Well, I'm glad you gave me the long answer, because that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I'm known for those, so
Perfect.
no problem.
So you mentioned that you actually wrote this song specifically to be a collaborative song. Can you tell me a little bit about your writing process and if it possibly changed because you were so focused on it being a collaborative song? Is it different?
Well, no, I don't think that the collaboration made it different, but I think the timeline made it different because it was the very last song. We had already finished all our writing for the record, and then we got the idea to do a collab. So that's why it ended up where I was just last minute like, here's the collab.
Yeah.
And so we tracked it in the studio. Like, we learned it together at the recording studio. I had sent everybody the demo. Generally, what we do and what we did for the entire record is we get together, we write the music in the room, and usually while we're writing it, it'll just be the three of us are there, and one of us will start like just with whatever, start playing something. We all kind of just start joining in, and when we get something we like, then I'll just start kind of singing random like "Flula do shi ba da da," like just random words. And sometimes like real words come out that are working, so I'll just use them. But generally we'll make a little audio recording of it. And the drive from our rehearsal is 2 hours. So on the drive back, then I'll write the lyrics to the songs. So I'll just be by myself kind of listening to the rehearsal tapes and kind of piecing it together. Then the next time we get together to write, I'll have like, here's my idea of what I think it could be, and we kind of reframe it from there.
Okay.
So, and that's pretty much always how we do it.
Okay, that's sick. I actually have to ask, wait, so what did you feel like more pressure on you because you had to learn it while you were in the studio because you decided to just write it like right at the end of the album process? Or was it just kind of like, oh no, it's fine, we got this? Or was it just like, oh my God.
It was a lot of pressure, but we knew we needed to do it. And yeah, I mean, Daisy, our bassist, was just sitting there like taking it line by line, like, okay, what's the next part? What's the next part?
Oh my God.
And McQueen, our drummer, was like in there with the headphones, just like, okay, I got it. But but it's not a heavy duty pressure because we kind of all know how to play together and we know how we would put a song together. So it's not, everybody feels pretty comfortable. I think it was more difficult, but not like stressful, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that's valid. That's fair.
So where's your headspace at while you're writing this song?
Man, I think it was just wanting to say something a little different than I had heard before, just tell a little bit of a different story about being, well, first and foremost, it's the first song I've said we can rock all night, which I felt really stupid about. I was like, this is the worst. I would mock a song that says like a modern song that says like rock all night or something, but it just really, I loved it because I was thinking about all my girlfriends that are in bands and how we do, we fight for our causes during the day and we rock the stage at night. And so it, as cheesy as it sounds, I really felt like that is our life. Like that's what we're all doing and we're all, in it together. And so it was just really a happy feeling. my mind was in a place of I'm just so proud of all my friends and everything they're doing in the industry, and just a very hopeful, happy place of, we're in this together, we're all a team, and I don't know, it was a really positive experience.
Okay. That's different
awesome.
than most answers we get, which is I was really sad.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah, well, I mean, that's very normal. that's where most people's creative output comes from. So I think this just isn't one of those songs. There is a lot of sadness involved in the creative process, I think, especially for us, especially with my lyrics. I do come from that place a lot, but this song's just meant to be fun and empowering. I mean, even down to like at the end, that kind of Weezery, like beachy Beach Boys vibe that we put at the end. It's just a little rapper at the end reminding everyone like, this is supposed to be fun. So
Exactly.
and it was even fun to listen to. So
good.
yeah.
All right. So while listening through the single, what band or artist influences pop out the most to you, if any?
On that song, I mean, I think it's a pretty it's pretty on the sleeve on that one. I feel like it's one, just like all these kind of like 90s and early 2000s bands that we've played with that just play in drop D, and they don't, is like, see, there's a good example, I guess, of just they're technically a three-piece rock band like us. So you're just got this heavy guitar, you got some really driving drums, and it's really 90s sounding. So I think 90s bands for sure, we definitely wanted to purposefully, we're trying to bring in kind of a Weezery like early Weezer thing to it. The bridge, the bridge might feel a little Foo Fighters-y, the way the drums kind of like kind of go back and forth between these two different, like on the snares on the beat and then it's behind the beat kind of thing that's happening. But yeah, I mean, this is a grunge song, so like the influences are pretty straightforward, just like Nirvana, the Melvins, like and then a little bit of that Weezer pop feeling in there. It's all very 90s, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. All great influences, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. The Beach Boys, I don't know. Like when there's so much music in an artist's head that when you're sitting there saying like, oh, well, I hear this or this the most, it's like, but is that right? If you ask me tomorrow, I might say something different. Like, it's just, my main influences are kind of under the radar, like grunge bands that never made it really big. So I like Local H or like a band like Helmet that's really heavy but like melodic. I don't know. So you just never, whatever.
All over the place.
Yeah.
Okay.
For a lot.
So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe the single for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Fun.
Okay.
Grungy.
Okay.
And feminist.
Okay. Yeah, those are really good. I like those a lot. So kind of in the same vein of the last question, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this song to invoke in your listeners? You keep bringing up like fun. This is supposed to be a very upbeat, happy song. So do you want that to influence the feeling in your listeners?
No, I think I'd want them to feel however they want to feel. I think in this time right now, we need to write music that not only affects change and affects on a social level, but affects change on a personal level, because everyone is so isolated. So I just want people to take whatever they want from a song. So the song's melodically dark. It's got this kind of, there's a band from the 90s called Failure. They're still around. They're incredible. If your listeners don't know Failure, they basically inspired an entire generation of music, from like Tool and Perfect Circle to more softer melodic bands to Failure was like this kind of very specific point that a lot of things came off of, and they never made it huge, but this song has a lot of their kind of like darker harmonies in it. So if you are more resonating not with the lyrics but just with the sound of the song, it can like, make you feel sad or dark too, if that's what you need. I just think music you should take what you need from it. So I would hesitate to say how I want it to make someone feel, and more just like I want it to make them feel how they want to feel, I guess. Like take what you want from it, you know? Like make it your own. It doesn't have to be about girl power. There's a lot of poetic imagery in there. It can be about whatever you need it to be to make it feel right for you.
Okay.
Oh, I really like that answer a lot. That was good. That was really good.
So we've talked about the album a little bit. What can fans expect from that upcoming release?
It's really weird, and it's a definitely, I'm sure every band says this, but it's definitely, I think, the most interesting thing we've done, and the by far the best sounding thing we've done. We just found our place in a lot of ways on this record, and so the record's called Tell Your Girls It's All Right, and it's really a love letter to our fans and just to everyone that has. We've had a really hard year, you know, everyone has, and so this is just kind of a message saying it's gonna be all right. So the record's not like super poppy or positive. It's actually really heavy in certain areas. It gets pretty dark, but has this silver lining of joy, and like it's gonna be okay. And I always say, like, you don't have to feel okay, but you just need to know it's going to be okay. So like, you know, it's not, I don't ever want to pressure anyone to be happy or feel good, but just know that you'll come out of this. There's more tomorrow. You know, we do a lot of stuff with you know, supporting suicide prevention and just mental health in general. And so, yeah, that's just kind of the hope of the album, is that people can listen to it and that it'll just help them get through another day. You know?
Oh, yeah. So light at the end of the tunnel, basically.
Yeah, for sure. It's just about making it through dark things, and it's pretty feminine focused record, I think, just because that's where we were at the time, but it's definitely universal, hard rocking, lots of good hooks. It's got basically everything Dead's fans really like. Tons of different styles all smushed together for no reason. I think I rap a couple times. I definitely growl. Like I scream. I sing cute. I do all this stuff. Guitar solos, drum solos. It's a record. You know, you're supposed to listen to the whole thing, which is something people don't really do anymore. So we just thought, it's a pandemic. Let's just like make one of those. So this is a start to finish, like put your headphones on and listen to it kind of thing. And hopefully at least a few people will try that. And if they do, I think they'll really get it and really like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wow. So you're covering everything on that record. That's
God, it's so, yeah, it started out as 16 songs and we cut it back to 12.
Okay.
It's 12 songs, but then if you order a vinyl record, it's like 2 records. So the full album will be on 1.5 records. And then the 4th side of the record, on 200 of the special editions, you're going to get the 4 extra songs, but they won't be released digitally.
Oh.
So it's just for the first 200 people that order the deluxe vinyl, it has the 4 extra songs. And other than that, they just don't exist.
Okay.
I'm going to have to try and get one of those then.
It's really, I'm sure it'll get like bootlegged and eventually
shitty rips will wind up online. Yeah.
Yeah. And so eventually I'm sure we will put it out digitally just so people can stream the actual content and not a ripped off version of it. But for the beginning, we did want to kind of make it this special thing because we've never done a full length vinyl release like this. So we just wanted to make it special.
Definitely. That's huge. All right. So where do you see the band in the next 5 years?
I don't know. Where are any of us in the next 5 years, right? It's really,
I don't know.
It's really hard to say. Like, I imagine that we'll put out our record and have a lot of fun, play some shows again someday. I think the pandemic has changed what that's going to look like. I think we all learned a lot, even just about like what germs are. Like, like, if nothing else, people took away like, oh yeah, germs are real and they make you sick. Like, because I'm sure, like me, many people that are stuck at home have realized I have not been sick in a year.
Yeah.
Because we get colds and viruses all the time, but since we're all quarantining, no one's really getting sick, and you know, that's not got coronavirus. So I think we've learned something on like a more primal level just about self-preservation. So I think we'll see people's behavior be a little different. I doubt
Definitely.
people are gonna be just like smashed up face together like right immediately. That might take,
Sharing water bottles.
yeah,
Like,
it's just gonna be different.
yeah.
So
Hopefully.
that's my guess on that. But 5 years, that's a long time. So I mean, I know that me and the girls will always jam, always be together, but it is a really weird time right now. So depending on how the record does will depend on where we are and what we're doing, honestly.
All right.
That's just that, there's no like, we're going to be on Rolling Stone. Like, I don't know. Are we even going to play shows? I have no idea. But I'll tell you this, 5 years from now, there'll be another awesome album out. We'll keep making music and just see what happens.
Yeah.
It's all today is all about the fans learning the new music economy. So everybody gets your music for free now. Back in the 90s, people were spending whatever, maybe they spent $100 a month on their CDs or something, or maybe if they were rich, they're like spending $300 a month on their CDs or whatever. Now people spend $10 a month on their music, usually tops. So the whole economy of it capsized. So now there's not really a way for artists to make money unless you're one of the 5 major artists that's making money. That if you're getting like 100 million streams, obviously you get money from that. But for the most part, artists really can't make money except through our merch and our shows. So if there's no shows, there's really kind of no merch. So how long can an artist sustain without live shows? That's kind of the question now. So projecting out 5 years is impossible. And until like music fans, which Gen Z is probably the best about this, about like, yeah, if you like an artist, buy their art, like buy a t-shirt, buy something, send them money, Venmo them, PayPal, whatever, like we don't do Patreon, but like do their Patreon, whatever they're putting out there. We're starting to learn like that's how artists make money now. So if you like them, you support them that way instead of buying albums, because that's just kind of like, what are you gonna do? I'm like looking right here on the floor. I have like a box of old CDs. Like, I'm not gonna put those anywhere or do anything with them.
They're just there.
They're just there because they got autographed at a show or something. So it's like, we need to, once everyone learns that there's just it's a paradigm shift. Now you pay for music by directly giving the artist money for something else. I think things will get better. And the pandemic is really teaching people that. They're like, oh, all my favorite bands are breaking up. Yeah, because they're broke.
Yeah.
Send them some money.
2021 is going to be a great year for releases, but I also think we're going to see a lot of bands just disappear. Poof.
Yeah, it's really weird. The singer of Hailstorm, Lizzie, is a friend of mine, and when the pandemic first started, she'd made this post and she got a lot of flack for it, about like saying, 25% of the bands that you love are not going to make it through a pandemic. And everyone was like, that's crazy, blah, blah. It's already happening. You see bands calling it quits on a pretty regular basis, and that'll start filtering higher and higher up the food chain as time goes on. I'm starting to see some stuff getting booked in August and September in Europe. I'm not really hopeful for shows that soon, but if they're outdoor, definitely. But indoor rock shows, like the kind of shows we can play where it's like smashed into a rock club, like I just don't see that happening for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want to see that happening for a while, I should say.
The 1% will be able to play shows before everyone else, pretty much.
Well, the country musicals will start up as soon as
they started up already.
Yeah, they're already.
Some of them never stop, but they'll be out there once the grass turns green. But see how it goes.
So for the last couple of questions, we're actually shift away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Boom again.
Boom. Well, I don't think I would eat, but let's be rhetorical.
Okay.
Like, I'm dying. I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't be able to eat. I would have the dankest, fattest, craziest large burrito, probably, with a top shelf icy margarita. That'd be what I'd do. no fancy wine, or it'd just be like classic burrito, tequila mixed drink. That's it. I mean,
Solid.
I could
Yeah.
probably eat that every day, or also on death row. I'm a simple person.
Sounds great. Sounds delicious. So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Oh God, that's so hard. I'm a huge sci-fi fan, so that's
Ooh.
I can't. I mean, I would have to really weigh all the pros and cons of all the fantasy worlds to really
right.
think that through. You know what place though really like there was a place that really just when I left the movie theater, I was kind of like the world felt dimmer. What was that movie? It's kind of older. They did Avatar.
Oh, yeah.
Avatar, that world, I was just like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And I saw it in 3D IMAX, so I kind of did feel like I lived there. And then when the movie was over, I was like,
yeah.
there.
Why didn't I stay?
I don't know that that's my answer, but I do remember being really impressed by that world. But can you ask me the question one more time?
If you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
I mean, Hogwarts is tempting too.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is both of y'all's answer? I haven't ever heard you guys answer that.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
And Peaky Blinders.
Cute! Oh my God, both those are awesome.
Yeah. I'd probably die like in the first week though. Actually, I'd die
it's
right
only a
on
week.
time. Exactly. But it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
I get to hang out with Tommy, so like that's the only thing that matters.
There's a show, it's on Hulu. It's a Canadian show. It's called Letterkenny.
Mhm.
And that cast, like if I were to be a character in a show, that cast is definitely a cast I would want to hang out with every day. They just live on a farm in Canada though, so I don't know if that's my whole environment I would want.
Yeah.
But if you're just gonna take my little person and place me in a show, I probably would want to live in Letterkenny. That seems like a really fun time.
All
That
right.
does sound pretty cool. You mentioned Hogwarts. I just feel like I have to ask, what's your house?
You know what? I just took a test on this, and it was Gryffindor, but it was really funny because my stepdaughter was like, "You're definitely She's like, "You're definitely Hufflepuff for sure." Like I was just like, "Excuse me, you don't know my house." Like
The test said otherwise.
you're not the Sorting Hat. Get out of here. Let me take my quiz. It was like a little kid's quiz. She's like, take this and see what house you're in. And I was like, I can tell you what house I'm in, but okay. She was
Gryffindor. Yeah, exactly. Boom.
So I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person you've spoken to have said that it is the most important question.
Okay.
What's your favorite color?
Pink.
Specific shade?
Magenta.
I love how quick you had that.
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer. It's funny. My whole life I just wore like black and tan and like not colorful stuff. Well, not my whole life, like in my early teen and teen years. And my mom was just like, "This is not you. Like, why are you dressing so dark?" And I just kind of was like, "I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just when I go to buy stuff, I just buy black stuff. I hadn't really even thought about it." And so I kind of just went nuts and just started wearing like the craziest rainbow color stuff for the rest of my life. And just, you know, people have always told me I look like a human Bratz doll when I'm fully dressed up. So like I guess I was just kind of going for that. But I'm Princess Peach, like from Nintendo. That's kind of my whole I love Princess Peach. So I guess she kind of her big pink gowns just kind of like always burned in my mind, and that's just it's my favorite color, no question.
Solid.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, it's just like everything I love is pink. Like it's not a question. Sunsets, you know, like Princess Peach.
Yes. So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
No, I don't. No, I want to plug kindness. And just moving through your day, realizing that everyone's having a weird day their own way. You have no idea what anybody's going through. And during this time, we just all need to be really kind to each other and patient with each other. because we are going to get out of this on the other side, and I'm sure everyone's going to have learned a lot of lessons during this time, and but yeah, just kindness and patience is what I would be promoting, because if anyone wants to know about my band, you know how to find me.
Exactly.
The internet's amazing. So
That Google machine, man.
It's crazy.
The Dead Deads. You'll find out whatever you want to know.
All right. Well, thank you for sitting down with us. This has been the Dead Deads and We're the Good Noise podcast.
So nice to see you guys.